Medical graduates have to decide how they're going to handle their debt during residency. And of course, there's the option to make payments, but the more comfortable option is to postpone payments. So the way that most medical residents choose to postpone payments is by using a forbearance. And the specific forbearance that's used is called a mandatory medical residency forbearance. And this type of forbearance is an entitlement to a medical resident. They request this from their servicer, and as long as they're a resident, they receive it. And exactly what they're receiving is an annual increment that will postpone payments for that year. And if they would like to continue with forbearance, they can do that throughout their residency, just re-requesting every year a new increment. But keep in mind, while the forbearance is in place, interest is accruing, and it's accruing all of the time on all of the loans. And so that's a concern. While that interest is accruing, I should point out that voluntary payments can be made, and it's encouraged that they should be made. But what the concern ultimately comes down to is, because of that accruing interest, what's the cost of utilizing a forbearance to postpone payments?
Right, let's take a look at that. So Dr. Median, right, who borrowed $170,000 during medical school, that turns into $195,000 after graduation. And then the cost of the forbearance, it's pretty steep. We're gonna be honest, it's over $1,000 a month. And after 4 years, a 4-year residency, they're gonna get up to about $243,000. Then Dr. Median has another choice. How am I gonna repay that? So there's two big categories, right? One's more aggressive. It's called the standard payment. It's a 10-year payment. And that's going to be at about $2,800 a month. And at the end of the day, Dr. Median will have repaid $335,000 on her student loans. Now, another option is extended, right? That's a 25-year repayment plan. So you're taking longer to repay, but your payment amount is less, right? We're looking at about $1,700 a month. But at the end of the day, you're going to repay a little over $500,000. So because you've taken longer to repay, you repay more in the long run.
You know, that makes sense. But the pros, the reasons to use a forbearance is that it's going to provide you additional flexibility while you're a resident in the form of extra money. You're going to have more discretionary income. Now, you will pay for that flexibility in the long run possibly, and that's a con. Loans could cost you more in the long run, meaning you might pay a higher payment after your residency is over. But overall, the point is this, that you are in charge of how you manage debt during residency, and the decision is up to you what's going to best work for your situation.
So what about the credit score? Sometimes you hear the concern, if I choose forbearance, will it impact my credit?
Yeah, using a forbearance doesn't negatively hurt your credit. It doesn't positively affect your credit either. It really is a moot point with it.
Okay. So it's a good choice for many residents.
It's a good choice for many residents, and in fact, it's a choice that's always available during your residency. Just decide what works for you and proceed accordingly.